Today, we'll take a deep dive and focus on hydrogen fuel cells versus lithium batteries, a debate that's intensifying from warehouse floors to global energy policy tables. We'll scrutinize battery safety and chemistry, untangle China's rise as a lithium giant and its impacts on supply chains and industrial competition, and close with an extended spotlight on the forklift market, where hydrogen fuel cells are proving themselves against lithium systems. All of this on today's Hydrogen Podcast. In segment 1, the science and economics, hydrogen fuel cells versus lithium batteries. Hydrogen fuel cells and lithium batteries both deliver zero local emissions, but their operation, efficiency, cost, and application vary sharply. Fuel cells generate electricity by reacting hydrogen and oxygen, emitting only water vapor and heat. Lithium batteries, on the other hand, store electrical energy in lithium ions, offering high volumetric energy density and charge-discharge efficiencies of 85 to 95%, ideal for compact devices and short-term power systems. Fuel cells typically achieve 40 to 60% efficiency, but excel in energy-to-weight ratio and instant refueling, crucial for heavy-duty long-range use. Hydrogen requires pressurized tank storage and infrastructure, whereas lithium batteries are compact, easy to store, but take hours to charge. Lifespan and cost play out differently. Fuel cell fleets last long, given a steady hydrogen supply, while battery degradation, thermal runaway, and charging cycles mean frequent replacements in intense use environments. Environmental impact is another major distinction. Lithium batteries require intensive mining for lithium, nickel, cobalt, and graphite, raising emissions at each step. Hydrogen fuel cells, when powered by green hydrogen, minimize upstream footprints, but rely on gray hydrogen with an associated carbon bill. Safety concerns persist for lithium and nickel batteries. Fires and explosions, often triggered by thermal runaway, defective separator, rough handling, or overheating, have prompted mass recalls in consumer electronics, EVs, and industrial sectors. High-profile incidences such as Tesla fires, Samsung phone battery failures, power tool malfunctions, and lithium-ion house fires highlight chemical and thermal hazards. Toxic emissions and flammable electrolytes demand careful handling, especially in logistics and warehousing. Next up in segment 2, China's lithium monopoly, how it happened and why it matters. China's grip on the lithium market is a case study in state-driven industrial strategy. While holding less than 7% of global reserves, China controls about 60% of global lithium processing capacity and nearly 80% of lithium chemical production, thanks to multi-billion-dollar investments in mines across Australia, Africa, and South America. By 2025, China is forecast to control a third of the world lithium supply. China's dominance extends well beyond mining. The country's vertically integrated chain covers refining, component manufacturing, which is 73% of cobalt, 70% of graphite, and 95% of manganese globally, and cell assembly. Strategic state-backed acquisitions in Chile, Argentina, and Australia, lithium companies ensure both raw material security and control of downstream pricing. Recent regulatory changes, like CATL's shutdown of the Xinjiao mine in Jiangxi, jolted the global lithium market, with prices surging and supply chain volatility. Policy moves to curb oversupply, impose inspections, and prioritize domestic industries have led Western nations to ramp up alternative supply projects. However, China's first-mover advantage in processing and manufacturing creates major hurdles. The US and EU are now trying to localize their lithium supply, but will take years to scale. The supply chain risk affects battery-dependent industries everywhere. Price swings, lithium can account for 20% of battery cost, drive up EV and grid storage expenses, limit predictability for manufacturers, and let Beijing shape global market access and competition. Concerns have led to U.S. and European initiatives to subsidize local mining, recycling, and processing, echoing the broader critical minerals race. In segment 3, let's look at forklifts, a case study in hydrogen fuel cell versus lithium power. Material handling is one sector where hydrogen and lithium square off in real-world economics and operations. Globally, the hydrogen fuel cell forklift truck market will reach $422 million in 2025, 7% compound annual growth rate through 2033, while overall fuel cell truck industry growth is forecast at 19.8% annually off a $1.6 billion base market size, driven by zero emissions mandates, government incentives, and tech improvements. Forklifts powered by lithium-ion batteries are celebrated for high efficiency, quick charging, and low routine maintenance. However, charging times remain a bottleneck, 1 to 3 hours per cycle, and degraded performance in cold climates or multi-shift operations. Battery replacement every 4 to 7 years, plus infrastructure needs and safety audits due to flammable electrolytes, add to a total cost of ownership. Hydrogen fuel cells, in contrast, enable refueling in minutes, supporting continuous 24/7 operations in busy warehouses, logistics centers, and ports. Their superior energy-to-weight ratio enables longer operational hours and higher uptime. Fewer moving parts lead to reduced mechanical failures and minimal service disruptions. Emissions profile is stark. Hydrogen fuel cell forklifts produce only water vapor with no toxic disposal, where lithium batteries carry an end-of-life recycling bill and potential leakage and contamination. The main drawbacks for hydrogen fuel cell forklifts include greater upfront investment, like fueling station infrastructure, limited refueling networks, and higher hydrogen cost in unregulated markets. However, as fuel cell technology advances, these barriers are expected to recede, with government credits, tax incentives, and direct emissions targets accelerating adoption. Regionally, the US, Europe, Japan, and South Korea lead in hydrogen forklift installations, supported by strict emissions regulations and robust hydrogen infrastructure funding. In Asia, rapid growth is spurred by industrial decarbonization policies and logistics boom. Major players like Toyota, Stihl GmbH, Hyster Yale, and Linde continue to drive industry innovation, expanding applications from warehousing to ports, airports, and construction. Case studies show that hydrogen fuel cell forklifts increase productivity, like no downtime for charging, cut labor and energy costs, and help firms meet corporate sustainability goals, making them the preferred choice for high-intensity operations. And so in our last segment, let's look at strategic takeaways for the hydrogen economy. Lithium batteries remain vital for consumer electronics, short-term energy storage, and lightweight electric vehicles, but their safety issues, resource intensity, and heavy dependence on China's supply chains remain hard limits, especially in industrial, national security, and energy independence strategies. Hydrogen fuel cells, though less energy efficient and more infrastructure intensive upfront, offer operational advantages for continuous duty fleets, heavy vehicles, and applications demanding swift refueling, reliability, and zero emissions. Their independence from a single point of global control, unlike lithium, and ability to leverage variable renewable energy via green hydrogen make them increasingly attractive. Leading forklift fleets, logistics hubs, and even defense installations are already making the shift, banking on hydrogen's promise for energy security, workforce safety, and long-term sustainability. Governments and industries have learned that diversifying energy storage solutions and developing local supply chains are paramount for resilience, cost control, and market growth. As China's lithium moves define pricing and access, nations must balance technology choices to hedge against future shocks. Alright, that's it for me, everyone. If you have a second, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a good review on whatever platform it is that you listen to. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, whatever it is. That would be a tremendous help to the show. And as always, if you ever have any feedback, you're going to email me directly at info@thehydrogenpodcast.com. So until next time, keep your eyes up and honor one another.